Welcome all high yielders. YieldMax has scored a coup d'etat, hoodwinked the dumb YouTubers to our advantage. This was one of the greatest shows ever seen. What YieldMax did was genius and I love it. They took the goofiest, lamest YouTubers who would be absolutely no threat, and any video seen here is under YouTube fair use. Now these guys, it was Max constipation or complexity or whatever, and then you had this guy to coach, right? Bro, get a manicure. It don't cost a lot. I seen you got a haircut for this. You're all excited. So what do you do with these guys? You take the most beta simples. They're simpletons. Okay. So anyway, I look at this strategy, and then you get retired on dividends. Who, he gets excited when he makes $20 on a put contract, and he tells you that he's just basically a loss. Okay, now they do all these spreadsheets and all of this garbage. So it'd be awesome. Maybe the coach will make a new website. I'm sure they're all going to use this to their advantage. Here's the guy with the birds in his head that his wife makes him make videos in the garage outside. Now this is the $20 put guy. This is his moment to shine. Okay, this is like, wow, we're on Wall Street, guys. We're here. They ask no really good questions. That's why they invited these guys. You see the strategy? They even gave the schmuck on dividends, they gave him a fucking bag. Like he went to Disney, like a knapsack. Okay, and he showed it in his post. And then he does like a double bicep flex at the top of Wall Street. It's unbelievable in the exchange. So we found out nothing.
I'd like to give a shout out to YieldMax TV for completely excoriating what happened at that carnival in New York the other day. And Tactical Dividend Scalper, I thought we had a truce, but apparently you had to jump in and attack the people that criticized this carnival. Well, so the truce is over and you're part of the mix. You'll be attacked. He's the guy that sells hot dogs. Sold his family out, put them through hell so he could get his quest, but that's another story. I was going to comment about the thing myself. I mean, he made it like such a hoopla about going to that shit city, New York. It's totally in decline, and visiting the crooks at Wall Street, which we were there. Well, that one year, 7 times after 9/11?
Something like that.
Yeah. Our younger son worked at Saks Fifth Avenue. You may have heard of that place, high rise. This is when it was, I think Giuliani was still mayor and all that stuff. But anyway, I was going to comment about this one hypocrite that showed up, this Max Convexity, I call him MaxiPad. And he showed up and he grilled the fund manager of the YieldMax fund itself, the thing I call the mutual fund. And he's over there, he's butting in and he's talking. I looked at my wife, we were watching, and I said, "Do you see this bullshit?" And the reason why it was bullshit is this guy, MaxiPad as I call him, doesn't own one share of YieldMax. He doesn't own anything at Defiance. He's been slamming these things from day one. Remember that video I told you about he made about actual yield versus the true yield? And he was trying to say that with the YieldMax and Defiance, it's only like a 2 or 3% yield you get. He made this thing, he blew it out of his ass. And at the end he admits it's just his idea, but it could be true. I'm thinking to myself, he's saying this thing and new investors will come across that. I think this guy knows his shit. But he shows up there without owning a share, right? Well, lo and behold, I was given a gift today, even more so, because over on the cesspool server, as we call it, the retire on dividends, under the YieldMax topic, some guy wrote, he was noting the people on stage there, right? And he goes, "What is that? It's AT Boogie something," he calls himself. He says, "Wait, is that Andre up there with the coach? This guy shits on YieldMax for months and then brings his ass to the closing bell." Well, you can't criticize one without the other, buddy. He says, "This is pure comedy." He says, "I remember debating with him the value of these income stocks And he said many times they weren't good. And now I see his ass on the closing bell. Yep. Somebody writes to him, you were expecting integrity? Silly rabbit. Well, this guy TC responded, well, TC, you can say that about miserable Mark, as I call him, the owner of the cesspool. Okay, how many times has he slammed the old Max and all? And of course, Max, of course. Joanna, she's a misguided moderator over there. I should have respect for her, but she's part of this clique now, so as far as I'm concerned, what's the old saying? My enemy's friend is my enemy. She goes, I was very surprised to see Andre, but they all had fun and had an opportunity to meet in person. So that's likely to go. So, fuck hypocrisy, right? Auntie Boogie takes her on. And with Joanna, you can't really take her on. I mean, she's like this jerk-off, this terror jerk-off that's all over the place. He goes, Auntie Boogie says, sorry, Joanna, you can't trash a company fun, then smile for the camera. Right, miserable Mark. You hear that? And Maxi Pad, you hear that? They're exactly who I thought they were, the guys that follow the attention. Right, just like miserable Mark. But I will ask Andre, man to man, you send me spreadsheets for days saying that these are bad investments. Did you suddenly change your theory? Entertainment, all this is basically, which is why I tell new people to read books. Don't always sit here and listen to anyone on these Discord channels. So I couldn't say it any better. I was going to tell people, don't ever go to these Discord channels because they're pure fucking garbage. They really are. Somewhere there's someone that'll listen to Andre and not invest in YieldMac. Yeah. I notice a lot of new people over in this cesspool, retire on dividends. My name for it's a cesspool. And they do that. And they'll look at these guys like miserable Mark with his videos and this terror jerk-off who's all over the place, commenting here and there and saying nothing really, and the scalper guy and all kinds of people there that they really don't know shit about anything, right? But they'll... Yeah. So he goes on to say, they don't invest in it, and you see them up there clapping and closing the bell, exchange with the YieldMacs. They make a video about Kilmer and his accounts, but now we're on stage with YieldMac. That's nasty work. Joanna writes back, well, obviously you can, LOO. I've heard it from Andre as well. YieldMac is not good. I've learned to do my own thing. So what the fuck are you doing over in that cesspool, Joanna, huh? Take some of these people with a grain of salt. I do. I don't take them with anything. They're a bunch of hypocritical liars and shit. I do my own research also. So what are you doing on Discord doing your own research? So Auntie Boogie agrees. He says, I like to exchange here and chop it up, but I do the same thing. But the video really did crack me up. And I will ask Andre if his new bots will focus on YieldMacs now. So, I mean, I couldn't have put it any better. I mean, from their own friggin' server. And by the way, when I'm quoting things from a server, it's called fair use. It's perfectly legal. So you write it down, it's going to be posted. And that's where you are going forward. Stay tuned. And once again, thanks to YieldMacs TV for really excoriating this whole thing. It was a carnival. They went to a shit city, big deal, and he rang the fucking bell. And you ever notice these people on Wall Street? And my wife and I have talked about this before. When the bell closes, it could be the shittiest day in the world or the best day in the world, but they're always clapping. Why is that? Because those assholes are making money no matter what. And all the millions of us just follow along with them. Have a nice Sunday.